Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another video. Yes, I have a very inflammatory topic for this, and believe me, I'm going to justify what I'm saying with the content of this uh, video. And this is a topic I have not talked about for quite a while. What actually prompted me to talk about this is just a few days ago, another channel uploaded a topic on, a holy grail type of topic for audiophiles, and that, of course, is cables, audio cables, right? So I'm going to read to you the title of the video, my initial comment on it, which, of course, was a bit inflammatory, I will admit, and then the awesome responses I've gotten to that comment so far. So, and just in case you guys want to see it, I will link that other video in the description below. So, name of the video is The Mystery of Audio Cables, Truth or Myth, right? And basically in the video, the guy says, do audio cables make a difference? Do they not? Yada, 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 blah, blah, freaking fucking blah, right? So, I was like, I couldn't help but comment on it, and I said, here was my comment, my initial comment. This is actually a very simple topic. Just get good, decent, quality cables from the likes of Blue Jean Cables or others, and you'll be fine. Spending $20,000 on an interconnect just proves you're dumb and got lucky enough to be wealthy enough to waste $20,000 on audio cables. Yes, I'll admit that's slightly inflammatory, but I couldn't help myself, right? I just thought I'd leave a slightly snarky, somewhat funny comment, and that'd be the end of it. I was incorrect. So, anyway, so here is some internet loudmouth who, unsurprisingly, has zero content. When you go to their page, there's no content. I've noticed that's a very common theme amongst the internet loudmouths here on YouTube. They talk shit. You go to their, quote, page, and there's nothing there. No videos, no nothing. Surprise, 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 surprise. So anyway, this guy, Carlos something, he says, what constitutes decent? Decent for a $5,000 system and a $50,000 system isn't the same thing. Is a $1,000 amp decent if you have $40,000 speakers? And then another thing he says is, you believe in luck, but don't believe in cable differences. That's idiotic. Prove me wrong. So, here was my response to the, I believe in luck, but not audio differences. Prove me wrong. Here is my response to that. I said, oh, so we have a massively arrogant and probably somewhat dumb cable defender. Sure, Carlos, I will prove you wrong. Luck is not the same thing as pseudoscience BS touted by many high-end cable manufacturers. An example of luck in real life: a random person is delayed leaving their home by 30 seconds and avoids getting into a terrible car accident. That would be a lucky set of random events that went well for an individual. Of course, if they left 30 seconds earlier, maybe they were killed, so bad luck can also factor in as well. All of you YouTube loudmouths are the same. You talk crap. And when I check your page, you have no contest. So my response to decent. Here's my response. Decent would, in the case of cables, would be a cable that can carry a signal in the most efficient way possible with as little degradation as possible. And you certainly don't have to spend megabucks to do it. Decent for an amplifier would be powerful enough to drive your speakers without breaking a sweat at whatever listening level you prefer. Again, also, megabucks is not needed here. So, obviously, in my opinion, this guy has fallen for the, these cables were made with the tears of angels by virgins, and it will truly lift your audio experience to the next level. And, but it's only $5,000 for this set of RCA cables. So yeah, this guy is totally just falling hook, line, and sinker, and it's amazing to me how many of these people just feel the need to defend this stuff. And then I had another guy respond. So this guy says, I would recommend another brand over Blue Jeans. They are almost as cheap as generic cables, but sound like 5 times the price. Whatever. But man, this guy's name's Alan, by the way. But man, I audited some crazy expensive cables, Ethernet cables, USB cables, power cables, and they sound insanely good. If you think Ethernet cables or USB cables can make a difference, you're already... I have no idea what's going on, but it appears like a $2,000 amp plus a $1,000 power cable would probably sound just as good as a $1,000 amp plus a $2,000 power cable. And each cable brings its own sound characteristics and improvements. I guess there are still a lot of things that cannot be explained by today's science. Yeah, I knew this guy was a total dipshit with that comment. So here's my response. Alan, did you actually do blind ABX tests? Because if you clearly knew which cables you were listening to, you may have simply heard a difference that didn't exist. The placebo effect is real. If you spend $1,000 on a power cable, you will definitely hear a difference. I fell victim to the placebo effect myself with high-res audio when I was doing sighted listening tests of high-res audio. I heard better dynamics, detail, etc., but when I did a blind ABX test with FooBar, yeah, those differences disappeared compared to standard CD quality audio. Hell, I can't even tell the difference between 320 kilobit constant bitrate MP3 and Redbook either. So there's nothing in those cables that science can't explain. Engineering principles and physics don't cease to exist in expensive cables. You know? And here's his response. If the difference is very small, I would have to do blind tests to be sure. But when the difference is so huge, there isn't any doubt. If someone told me beforehand what to expect, then it might have something to do with placebo, but it wasn't the case. I could literally hear more detail that I just don't hear on cheaper cable. Let me take an analogy. Do you need a blind test to determine if Sennheiser HD and 800 and 600 sound different? Do you need blind tests to differentiate between apple juice and orange juice? Here's my response to that. Facepalm. So you obviously didn't do a blind test. That tells me most of what I needed to know. Your analogies are terrible. Every speaker and headphone model sounds different from every other speaker and headphone model. That's a basic result from the laws of physics. So no blind testing isn't needed to say that they are different. Also, orange juice and apple juice come from different fruits. So let's relate that to audio cables. I guess I don't need to blind test if I use audio cables versus first-gen crappy Bluetooth to transmit audio. Both are audio transmission methods, but not the same one. Basically, any competently manufactured audio cable that transmits the signal with as little interference as possible will sound the same as any other competently manufactured cable due to the laws of physics. The laws of physics don't cease to exist simply because of marketing and snake oil BS. And yes, I have listened to high-end cables, and guess what? They sound the same as well-made, much less expensive cables. What a shocker! And then here's another. This one might be my favorite one because this guy basically agrees with me, as we'll get to, but he acts like, yeah, he's defending it at first. He says, did you actually try any well-made cables? This guy's Mr. Danny DJ Mix 2. Did you actually try any well-made cables? Because I'm pretty sure I could show anyone you can hear the difference. And in some cases, the difference is too big to say placebo effect. In my opinion, it's your biased placebo effect that tells you that there's no difference instead, since there's no experience to back it up. Only hate against marketing BS and high prices. And I respond to, yes, to this guy, yes, I have, in fact. I have well-made cables in my system. I spent around $200 total on cables for my system that are mostly from Blue Jeans cables, which are made the same way audio cables for recording studios are made. If it's good enough for a recording studio, it's good enough for my stereo. And then he responds with, are you sure about that? Maybe they are good. There is a big difference in the way more expensive cables are constructed. I did all my cables DIY, and I spent around 30 pounds on materials and connectors for one pair of 1 meter RCAs. If you calculate it up to retail price, you can see why some cables cost a bit more. But I don't believe those cables that cost thousands are worth it, to be honest. They are extremely overpriced. That's where the snake oil is. Even though they make a difference, they don't justify the extremely high price. And then I respond with, dude, seriously, the cost you said is the same cost as the stuff from Blue Jeans Cable. You basically are admitting you agree with me. All I can say is these people are fucking stupid. So yeah, you see the kind of inane crap that people say in response to anything that is a quote that's marketing hype or BS in the audio world. You know, a lot of this kind of shit can be seen in, you know, defenders of high-res audio as well. People will drone on and on and on and on about how much better it is. And you ask them, have you ever done an ABX test to see if you could actually hear a difference? And then you get crickets, right? Because they just know it's better. They just know it's better. So to everyone out there, do yourself a favor. Before you spend more money than you have to on something, really examine it. Examine the topic, do your research, think for yourself just a little bit. Just think. Because do you really think that companies with their sales and their marketing are doing it for your benefit? Or do you think they're doing it to chase the almighty dollar? Come on. Think, people. Think. I don't know. I guess critical thinking is clearly a skill that most, or not most, I guess a lot of humans seem to lack for whatever reason. It's a thing. And if you have it, you'll have a better time in life. Otherwise, you'll just be a loser on the internet spouting BS at other people, I guess. So, anyway, that's basically it. There's a lot of foolishness in the audio hobby, obviously, and for some reason, people just approach it like it's just this whole faith-based thing, which makes no real sense when all this stuff can very easily be verified one way or another. So that's it. Irrationality pisses me off in all its forms, but I just thought I'd share. So anyway, that's it. You guys know what to do. If you are new to the channel, take a look around. Maybe you'll see something you like, subscribe, all that crap. So thank you so much for watching. As always, live long and prosper. Keep on rocking.